Hello and welcome to the Advent homily series called Getting to Know God Personally. It's part of this year's theme, Following Jesus, in which we're exploring 4 key steps we can all take to follow Jesus more closely. Learn, serve, connect and invite, and prayer and worship. They're tied to 2 pillars of Jesus' teaching, the greatest commandment and the Great Commission, which in a nutshell is a call to love God, love others, and to invite others to follow Jesus. In November, we focused on service. We had our 90 Minutes to Make a Difference challenge, in which Father Trout asked the entire parish to do 90 minutes of service. During the Advent season, we're focusing on the learn step of following Jesus, and we're calling it knowing God personally, because when we are learning in our faith, we aren't just obtaining knowledge about a subject. We're also getting to know a person, the Son of God, Jesus Christ. When I was younger, God felt more distant. I don't know if I could say I knew God personally. I believed God was there for me when I needed Him, and that God had a plan for my life, and I went to Mass pretty regularly and prayed the Rosary and other prayers. I was fairly content with my faith life. It seemed I was doing everything I needed to do, but something was missing. I didn't realize that until I read and studied the New Testament in college. It was in that experience that I encountered Jesus Christ in the Gospels. I encountered the living, breathing Son of God, who's smart, funny, challenging, caring, surprising, and so much more. He just seemed to jump off the page with the help of my professor, who was a religious sister who God definitely had given the gift of storytelling and a passion for the Lord. She showed me that Jesus Christ is relatable, someone I could be close to. And I started to see through the Gospels that Jesus could be my friend as well as my Lord. And I started to realize that He wanted that too. The Gospels also opened a whole new horizon for me of connecting with God personally, because I was getting to know Him for who He was in His words. And each day, as I spent time reading, reflecting, and praying through the Gospels, I started to feel closer and closer to Him. In this first week of Advent, which represents hope, I am here to tell you that from personal experience, nothing will infuse hope into your life like a personal relationship with God, than knowing God personally. In the first reading this past weekend, we heard that God is our Father and He shapes us like a potter shapes clay. And I think that time with God's Word and time with God in general opens us up to a deeper relationship with God and opens us up to be shaped by the Lord into the person we are meant to be. And we hear some of the fruit of closeness to Jesus Christ in the second reading from this past weekend. St. Paul says, "In Jesus Christ, you were enriched in every way with all discourse and all knowledge." So during this especially busy time of year, make time for what matters. If you already have a habit of time with the Bible and with God, how can you stretch yourself to keep growing with the Lord as we prepare for Christmas? If you've never made a habit of spending time with God and with the Bible, or fallen out of the habit, why not give our December 2 Minutes with God challenge a try? We're trying James Clear's 2-minute rule. It comes from his book, Atomic Habits, and he talks about starting with a 2-minute commitment and building from there. So for December, we're challenging everyone to carve out daily time with God, starting with just 2 minutes. Now, if you can do more than that, by all means, go for it. But if you want to simply start forming the daily habit, consider doing it with this 2-minute challenge. You could participate by going to stjoseph-libertyville.org/learn and subscribing for our weekly homily series emails, which will include the 2-minute challenge. If you're already subscribed to the email, you'll get the challenge video too. Let us know you're doing it by hitting the button below the 2-minute challenge video in the email that you get each week. Well, it's great to be on this Advent journey with you as we focus on knowing God personally.